ETX Tactical and Survival, and today we're here with a new project on how to camouflage a nylon weapon bag. The concept is pretty much the same as your hard cases, but because it's very porous, there's a little bit more to consider with it. Now, in earlier videos, I had stated that pretty much everything I do is somehow oriented with camo. One reason why is because I just love camo, just like hunters love mossy oak and real tree. I'm no different. The second reason is because no matter what situation is held against me, I can take what I have, go take cover, and if I have to leave it somewhere, it can blend in with the environment. Whether it's urban or woodland, desert, snow, whatever it may be, if I'm in that environment, I can have my items already adapted to that particular environment. So let's go ahead and get started and make us a camouflage nylon weapon bag. Okay, now this particular weapon bag is actually my tactical bag for my 12 gauge pump action shotgun. It's got the mole slots and stitching on it, plus 2 additional pouches and 3 hidden zip pouches in it. Really a great product. I actually got this at Walmart. For those that don't have a lot of money, I spent around about $35 for this. Now you can see a little bit of the shadowing and everything already in it. It's just something I played with before, but now we're really going to get into it and actually camouflage it so it fits this woodland environment. Now the thing with this particular item, because it is porous, you have to do light coats, sometimes multiple coats. You don't want it to puddle up. Then it's just going to get stiff and caked, and it's not going to last as long as if you take it and do it right. So the first thing we're going to do is our base coat. Now our base coat, what I have decided, I usually want to do my light colors for my base coat. The reason why is because when you're looking out, what shines through the most in the background? It's your lighter colors. Then your darker colors are more for your abstract items that are in front. Your leaves, your branches, your trunks, your bushes. Those are your darker colors. So I usually try to put a base coat as light as I can and work from there. Now what I'm using today is going to be a Rust-Oleum camouflage. This is the khaki color. I will be using, also by Rust-Oleum, kind of a light green. And then a much darker OD green, also by Rust-Oleum. Now these are things that you can purchase inside Walmart. They're about $4 a can. And if they're done right, you can usually make them stretch pretty far. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is take that tan, put my little nozzle spray here, and I'm just going to do light coats on it. And what you'll notice is there's certain things that are going to adhere to it real quick. Your zippers, your snaps, your buckles, anything that may be on it is naturally going to take in that color. Now for your nylon itself, it's going to bleed through. It's not going to be just a straight solid color on your first go around. As you can see here, all I'm doing is just light passes through. It doesn't have to be thick, but you want to get it pretty well covered. If you have to, if you feel that there's an area that's not to your liking, like say this area is still a little too dark, it didn't go through, let it dry and then come back. Anything that you do, if it's real important to you, it's worth waiting. So if you gotta wait a couple times in between each of these particular coats, by all means, let it sit there and dry. Okay, so now I have my basic khaki color. I might touch up a few spots here and there. It's all your preference on how you want it to look. So what I'll do is I'll sit there and let that dry. And then I'll go into my next lighter color, which is the lighter green, also by Rust-Oleum, and we'll put that next coat in and actually start making the camouflage itself. So again, I'm using the lighter green camouflage color, and I'm going to go over this with that. Now I can sit here, again, it's just like coats. I can take this right here, kind of hold it over it, and I'm just doing a basic spray across. Just kind of giving it. Now if it does get a little too dark like this over here, it's no big deal. Just don't go over it again, because again, you don't want it to puddle up and become crusty and thick. And you're just going to kind of alternate it a little bit, your different patterns. And again, you just want to do a little light. If you feel it's not dark enough or stand out enough to what you want, let it dry, come back and do another coat. It's no big deal. Barely see it, I'll probably come back a little bit later. Now, one reason why on certain items I do like it to have some type of grass pattern in it is because if I decide I want to lay it down in the grass, or even if it's a light grass, I can always have it blend in. Now let's try to take this one right here. We'll put a little line right there. It's just mixing it up. All you're trying to do is break the shape of it so it doesn't look like it's a weapon bag or a bag. You want it to be broken up where if somebody sees it, they can't tell. That's the whole concept of camouflage itself. And there you have it. Now what we'll do is we'll let this dry, and then we'll go into our actual darker colors, and that's going to more symbolize your trunks, your branches, maybe a little straw, pine straw. It's all up to you. Judge it by your surrounding. Some of this light green might be some of the fresh pine needles. If I want to put it up in a tree, there's some green that's going to show through. No big deal. So stay tuned, we'll go for the next step. Alright everybody, we've done let it dry, and now we can go on with the darker color, the OD green. I can use basically the same stencils, I can change it up. It's all up to you, it's all on your preference. Okay? So what I'll do is now here's one of the tricks I do. If you can see over here, I've got my darker color overlaid on the green. Sometimes I want a little bit more three-dimensional effect, so I might take a smaller form of this exact same pattern, just a little narrow, and do a quick light green in front, just almost as a shading, make it a little bit more realistic. Now, this is just a basic, kind of blends in if I set it out there. But what I like to do is I'll do a little bit of shading. So stay tuned and we'll kind of clean this up. Alright, so that's dry. Now what we're going to do is, you can find stuff just laying around the ground everywhere to do this next step. To me, it's kind of adding a little bit of context to it, a little depth. You don't have to get fancy with it. All I did was go and get some long blades of grass, a little bit of reed here on this particular stem. And all I'm going to do is set it where I want it and just real lightly do quick burst sprays. And what this is going to do is when I lift off, it kind of puts a little depth behind it. This covers the area that I don't want it to spray, so that way it blends in real nice. And I'll just basically go all over. And you want little bursts because you just want shadowing. You don't want it to be solid. And you don't want to overdo and cover what you just put on there. Then it would kind of defeat the whole purpose. And now you see it has more depth. It looks a little bit more realistic than just having a basic two-dimensional picture on there like you colored it in with the crown. And there you have it. Now you can change this up. For some people that don't want to spend all that time, just do lines. It's your project. Do what you want to do. As always, so thank you for joining us to watch on these projects. Be looking out for other projects and survival tips and guides. Also, feel free to check out ETX Tactical and Survival on Facebook. We post different scenarios and how to handle them, different informational tips and stuff. So, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned a lot. Hope you go out and give it a shot. Be fun with it. Be creative. And as always, remember 3 things. Stay safe, be smart, and God bless. Y'all take care.